Okay, so up until this point, we've drawn our elevations. Of course, we've drawn our floor plan and our foundation plan. We've got our elevations laid out and drawn with our porches and decks and stuff added. What we need to do now is we need to dress up our elevations a little bit. We do this using hatch patterns. When we do this, hatch patterns are best applied in small patches. Now, you will see some people that'll put all the hatch pattern on there. It can get a little overwhelming if you do that. It's just according to what you want to do. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's go to hatch, and we're going to get a different dialog box when we do. If you notice, this is what pops up. Now let's start looking through our patterns up here. If you notice, we've got some architectural standards, which are AR standards. Okay, these are different brick standards. Brick standard there, and notice that just says standard, okay? And we can keep going down through it. We've got roof, we've got cedar shakes, got herringbone, and then there's one that just says brick. So, do you use the AR brick? Do you use the other one? What do you do? Well, that's where we need to sort of look and see. There's one there that says grass. I typically don't use a grass pattern. It's one for gravel. We'll use those when we start doing some other things. But there are a lot of them here. Let's go back all the way up, and let's go to the brick one, the one that just says brick, this one. So let's pick it. Now notice our pattern coming in and stuff. This is our hatch scale pattern that's set at 1 inch. So it might be really small. So see, if we zoom in, look how little bitty that brick is. That's way too small. So we're going to need to increase it. Let's increase it by a scale of 48 and see what happens. Oh, way too big. How about 12? Hey, that looks good, don't it? So that's about the right hatch pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click and put it in here just to see what it looks like. And that looks pretty good. Now let's see in here. Not bad. Not bad. All the way around the door. There. There. So that looks pretty good. We can put that brick pattern in and it comes up real nice. The only thing is, we know that these are brick columns here. We don't want to do them and do all this under here in brick as well. Because if we do, we're going to lose them. So see, when we put it all on there, it gets kind of busy, okay? So what some people will do, I'm going to undo that. And I think I'll just delete it actually. Because if I undo it, I'll lose my setting. I'm going to go back into patterns. And this time, instead of doing the whole thing, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a polyline area. And you might want to cut off your object snapping and stuff so it don't quite go in the same area or stuff. But what you can do is we can come in here and then we can put in patches. I like to put in patches of brick. I love coming into the corners and putting in some brick patch. Like that. And then we can put one down here maybe. And then maybe one, we got that one in the upper corner. Let's come over here and put this one in the lower corner. You don't want to get wild with your clicks, okay? But you want to sort of get the feel for it. So now I'm gonna pick in these areas. And by doing that, now I can come in and I could come in and do my columns now. Okay? So you can do them in patches. Now, these white lines, the borders around it, you would want to cut them out. You could do them on a separate layer, or you could cut them on and off, freeze or thaw them, or you could just do them like that. So that gives the illusion of brick. Some people just do straight line patterns. They don't do these weird shapes. So if we come back, let's get rid of these shapes like this. And let's just go in now and let's do sort of a polyline. Let's scroll down, go out, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of zigzag it out and down like this. I'm going to take it straight down. I'm going to do another one right in here, and again I'm just going to zigzag it a little bit. Get this one out just a little bit longer, zoom in so I don't quite get on there. And then I might can do one more down in here. And this one I made just freeform instead of letting it get wild and carried away. And just do that. And then let's try the hatch pattern and see what that looks like. So this is one of those that you sort of mess with and trial and error, see what you like. Okay? And see, when we do that, that sort of cleans it up a little bit. That lets everybody know that the brick goes all the way all over the house and stuff, so you can see it. So this may be a better option for you if you like, okay? If we go ahead and go to show our lines and everything, you know, this really gives it a little more detail. And we need to do the very same thing for our roof. Now our shingles, when we go in and do our shingles, there is a pattern called cedar shake. We'll leave it on a 12. Come in here and, oh, that's way too big. So let's back this one back up to a 1. And you see, that looks pretty good. That's a pretty good roof right there. So if you like the cedar shake look, you can do that. If you don't like the cedar shake look, what you can do is you can always go in and do use the brick pattern again and change your size. So you could change it to say how about, you know, we did that as a 12, so do it like a maybe a 20 or so. So let's try that and see what that looks like. Let's delete that one. Let's go back into hatch and I'll show you what I mean. So just a standard asphalt shingle. So if I use brick, let's change this. We had it on 12. Let's go to 24 and see what we got. See there, that increases the size, and that sort of looks like shingles. Okay? So you can do that. And again, you can do the patch or you can do the entire roof. The only thing you got to be careful about, notice it needs to make sure that it's picking out the area. So, you know, you could do that. And then we could also come in here and do this. We could go back to that shingle, that rustic shingle, and let's put a shingle up here in this gable. Let's go to a 1. And see, that really, and now if we did that, if we're going to do that as an accent so it really stands out, what we definitely want to do here then is we want to come in and just do some real basic shapes as far as our shingles go. So let's just do patches. Okay? And we'll do another one over in here. And now let's come in and do our brick again. Let's change this. And we will try like a 24 and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's nice and big. And now we can take out this line, delete it, and delete it. So see, that sort of gives it that illusion. That's not bad right there, okay? So we can do that, and then we can do the very same things over on these as far as our layout goes. And again, if you wanted to, you can draw different shapes. You can be lazy and copy it, but the problem is, see, because I made both those at the same time, they won't come together. So we really can't copy them. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to come in and do some detail here as well. So again with the polyline, and we can do some brick. Like that. And then we'll do another one here. And then we could do one up here. Again, you don't want to get too crazy with these shapes. Back to a 12. Okay. And, you know, the problem is, of course, you can't move these around individually. You wish you can stretch them and make them bigger. Okay. But you can't really move them around. So that's one of them things that you can do there. You can even look at going, well, what if I did the whole thing? What if I went hatch, brick, and did everything over here on this end? Well, you know, that's not bad. Okay, so that's not bad right there on that end. Kind of gives it some detail. So you might want to do that on that end. And then on the back, you know, that's the reason why, because if we do the hatch pattern on the back, you know, it's going to pick up all that and then leave it plain underneath. So there are all different ways of doing things. I like my columns detailed because it makes them stand forward. But you can do it the other way, and you can take these out, like we said, and come in and just do the whole thing. And brick here. Now, if you do that, you are going to want to get inside the porch. Brick there. Okay, I've got a straight line there that I need to get rid of. But you can do that and do that and do that, and then, like I said, put a roof pattern over here on the roof. You know, this is one of them cases where I might be able to copy. Hold on, let's copy both of those. Let's drag them over and let's just sort of place them out in the open here like that. Okay? And that'll give it some detail. So that's all you've got to do. Now, if you notice, I've got some weird circles going on here. Now, I don't know what caused it. I'm going to type in REGEN, which is regenerate, and they went away. There was just some kind of circle there. I do have a line here that I need to get rid of. So you'll start finding stuff like that, okay? So that's how you do your hatch patterns. The other thing that we need to do, and it's real simple, is we need to put a few little simple notes on these things. So when we do these, what we want to do is we want to go in. We can do dimension. So if I do dimension and come in here, I'm going to hover over the end of this porch. I'm going to do a dimension, and I'm going to drag straight out like this. And what I'm looking for is the top of something else too. So I'm going to grab right here too. Okay, and now I'm going to drag out. And notice this gives us a reading. Now I've got this at the wrong place. So what I'm going to do, it says 611. And immediately I know that's not right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. I'm going to grab that grip and I'm going to drag it down to here, because that gives me my 6/8. Now I can grab this and I can drag this back. And I want to make sure I'm straight in line, get my intersection. Now let's grab this one, drag it back, get my intersection. And now that says 6/8. Okay, so that kind of helps with that. So, but what is that? Well, that number gives us a reading, but it may give you something that's a little misleading because it is just a dimension. So instead of doing that, let's do something with a line instead. Let's leave it. We can either have it under dimension or under notes. Well, we can put this under notes. I am going to draw me a line out. And again, I'm just going to grab the top of the window and drag out. And now I can grab this line and drag it across. And I want to get it just off the wall. So let's say right about there. Okay. And then while I've got that highlighted, I'm going to say copy. I'll grab it from its midpoint. I'm going to come down. I'm going to hover over that point. I'm going to drag across and drop it in place. So what I've got now I can add a note. And if you notice something, I'm going to do something different here. If you use multi-line text instead of single line, which I am a huge supporter of single line text, multi-line text gives you the option of being able to put in a lot more information. So I'm going to draw a box, a text box. Okay, make sure my cap lock is on. And now I'm going to type door HGT, and I'm going to type in 6 feet 8 inches. Okay, I'm going to click off of that and just leave that there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that text box. I'm going to copy it from line down to line down. Oops, didn't quite get it where I wanted it. Let's do that again. Let's go back into copy. Copy that. I'm going to grab from midpoint to midpoint. There we go. Now I'm going to double click on this one. And here I'm going to say FIN for finish, period. FLR, period, for floor. And let them know that that height is there. Okay, so at this point now, this is a 0 reading. So I can put in 0 if I want to or not. Okay, so that's our finished floor right there. So what we want to do here for this door height, we can say 6 feet 8. AFF. Okay. Now, if you want it all in one string, we can drag the box out and get it up on top. So put the A back in, not quite wide enough. So just do that. There we go. So above finished floor. This is finished floor. And we can do also the very same thing. So if we copy the whole thing, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover, I'm going to drag across and click right there at the wall because I want it the same distance off right there. And here I can click and I can go FIN period CLG period finish ceiling. And I'm going to put 8 foot AFF. Okay. So that kind of cleans up that detail. You know something that I didn't do that I did on my edge of the house, the right side of the house that I didn't do in the front of the house? I need to go back into my wall layer because I just realized, and this will happen to you, I forgot a couple of lines. I need a line from here over to here to show that fascia board, and the same thing from here to here. And I need it on the back of the house too. Because see, that gives it definition, just like it did here. So what I can do here is I can cheat. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to start that line right there. I'm going to draw it all the way across right there. Okay? And then what I can do is I can drag this grip back to the intersection. Okay? And there. Now that gives it that detail that I wanted, that definition that I wanted. So we've labeled all of these. The other thing that we want to label is this. I'm going to go copy one more time. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to get it from the end point of that line to the end point of that line. And this I'm going to put, instead of floor, I'm going to put GRADE, grade, finish grade. Okay? So that gives us our information that we're looking for. And we can do the exact same thing on the side views and the rear views. Or we can just do it on the front view because it should all stay the same. Okay? So what we can do here, though, it would be nice to do this, is I would like to copy, if nothing else, I would like to copy this from here over to here, down to here, and then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to bring it back the other direction. So again, I'm going to hover over that, drag over and get about the point that I want, which is right about there, and drag back to it. Okay? So by doing that, that's showing, I will delete that line now. That's showing our finished grade. Okay? So this kind of cleans up the detail and stuff. We could put shingles on this if we wanted to. We could put brick on that column if we wanted to. You know, the more you look at it, the more you can do stuff. Sometimes less is more. Let's try it right there. Not bad. All right, now let's go back in and let's change that hatch pattern to 24 like we said. And let's come in here and put in some shingles. Okay, say okay. Is that too busy? Yeah, it kind of is, so I would get rid of that. Okay. So there's our elevations done. We've got things located and labeled, which is good. If you wonder why I didn't put a rail on the front porch, it is only 24 inches off the ground, so we don't have to have a rail. We're good. Okay. Once we get to 3 feet off the ground, we got to have a rail. So we're good there. All right. Okay. So that's it for this video. Go ahead and get your elevations finished. Submit those so I can see them, so I can grade them, and enjoy the rest of the week. Talk to you later. Bye.